Well, I started using cocaine probably around the beginning of my freshman year of college.
Students using illegal drugs. It's an issue that often stays in the shadows.
One North Carolina law is going up in smoke, allowing minors to get their hands on a controversial product.
And these two-wheeled contraptions are gliding across campus. We'll show you the new transportation trend. All that and more. Carolina Week
starts right now.
From the UNC School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering Carolina in HD, this is Carolina Week.
It's not surprising to hear stories about college students smoking and drinking, but an increasing number of students are starting to use illegal drugs while in school. Good evening, I'm Sharon Nunn.
And I'm CB Cotton. You might not realize how many people around you are actively using hard drugs. Nearly 8% of students say they're currently using illegal drugs other than marijuana. These drugs include cocaine, heroin, and LSD. I sat down with one UNC student using cocaine to find out what motivates students to use these drugs. UNC students do the expected. They go to class, they socialize, and they study. It's this that might throw you off guard.
Well, I started using cocaine probably around the beginning of my freshman year of college.
We'll call this UNC student Kelly. His or her name and voice have been changed. As you heard, Kelly is using an illegal drug quite frequently.
I would say maybe, at least, once a week, sometimes more, depending on how busy my schedule is, how often I go out with my friends, stuff like that.
And once a week doesn't come cheap. For this single gram of cocaine, Kelly spent $60. And despite the price tag, Kelly continues to line up. And it's not just UNC students. In a 2014 survey by the National Institute of Drug Abuse, 11% of people ages 18 to 25 admitted to having used cocaine in their lifetimes. Psychiatrist Logan Grady specializes in addiction medicine and treatment. He says these habits are deadly.
Cocaine can cause heart attacks or strokes or heart arrhythmias. A cocaine overdose can be fatal.
Fatal. Then why are Kelly and other students using these sorts of drugs? Andrea Hussong is the director of the Center for Developmental Science. She says knowing the health hazards isn't enough.
Simply knowing that one thing may not be the best choice for us doesn't tell us how to make the best choice for us.
To stop drug abuse, Hussong says students have to learn how to cope with stresses.
How do I deal with the stress or the suffering that I'm feeling? Or how do I just sort of let go of the stress I feel like I'm under?
For now, Kelly's not ready to quit.
I would like to think that, it's just something that I'm going to be doing in college, but, you never really know.
But there's help. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, call the people who can provide that help. We've put a link and a phone number on our website, carolinaweek.org.
New research suggests that e-cigarette sales are exploding and online vendors are ignoring North Carolina laws to regulate them. Mackenzie Bennett is live on the quad.
Sharon, it's very easy for minors to get their hands on e-cigarettes. Just a few clicks of the mouse and somebody delivers them right to the front door. Jack Leffler has been smoking e-cigarettes for more than a year, but there's just one problem. Jack isn't even 18 years old, and he says buying what he wants is a piece of cake.
Online, all the way. Because like I said, there was zero age verification.
Currently, 41 states ban e-cigarette sales to minors, and North Carolina requires vendors to use age verification techniques in stores and online. Rebecca Williams is a researcher for UNC and studies websites that sell tobacco products. She tested 98 online e-cigarette vendors, and the results?
There was really, I think, one vendor that complied with North Carolina's law.
These were some of the products that vendors sent to underage participants who ordered products for the study. Some of the packaging will surprise you.
It came packaged with candy, which really just kind of underscores this notion of flavored e-cigarette products trying to appeal to kids.
I got online myself just to see how easy it is. And on some websites, I didn't even have to verify my age. I could buy an e-cigarette with just the click of a button. Williams says the variety of flavors is what really draws younger people in.
granny rolls. It's like your grandma's cinnamon rolls.
But fun flavors can mask the real dangers of the products.
Some of them on their own, cause serious lung diseases. So for example, anything that has a buttery or cinnamon flavor can be very dangerous.
Jack says he isn't worried and will continue using e-cigarettes as long as he can buy them. Researchers say there should be more federal regulations to keep minors from getting their hands on e-cigarettes. Sharon?
Mackenzie Bennett live from the quad. Thanks, Mackenzie.
Getting home from bars just got a little less expensive in Chapel Hill. By the end of October, Uber rides will be free for UNC students. All you need is a UNC email address. Students will be able to use the free service Thursday through Saturday between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. This is an effort to reduce drunk driving. Students can go from point A to point B within a 3-mile radius of Top of the Hill and Spanky's. The Panhellenic and Interfraternity Councils and the Security Council of UNC are funding the rides.
The ABC Commission has rejected a proposed punishment for La Rez, a Chapel Hill restaurant and bar found negligent after serving alcohol to underage UNC student Chandler Kenya. Kenya killed 3 people after driving drunk on July 19th. The proposal said that La Rez should pay $5,000 before November 6th or have its license revoked for 50 days. The commission chairman said he wants a stiffer punishment. La Rez's proposed punishment was less harsh than the one given to He's Not Here, the other bar found guilty of serving Kenya. As of now, the bar would have to surrender its license on November 6th. He's Not's violation history played a role in the recommendation.
Studies show that medical error is the 3rd leading cause of death in this country, compelling hospitals to make the changes in how they operate. Reporter Gayatri Rathod shows us how a program at UNC hospitals aimed at increasing patient safety and preventing tragedies.
Gene Hobbs experienced firsthand the tragedy that can happen when communication fails in the hospital.
I lost a child at another hospital after 30 days for a congenital ailment. It was an individual attending who was fighting. So it was, he didn't want to admit that he was wrong.
Gene's firstborn son, Andrew, passed away from kidney failure after a communication breakdown led to him being treated in the wrong unit. According to the Journal of Patient Safety, medical errors kill more than 400,000 Americans per year. UNC Hospitals uses a program called Team Steps to improve communication and prevent errors. UNC Hospital's pediatric nurse Michelle Kimmel says the pediatric sedation team uses key words called cuss words.
I have a concern, I'm uncomfortable, things like that. It's a safety problem.
I'm standing in the UNC Children's Surgery and Sedation Center, where the pediatric sedation team practices real-life scenarios with their Team Steps training. Watch as these nurses use Team Steps in action to put Cindy, a robot patient, under sedation. As Cindy starts to have an asthma attack, the anesthesiologist listens to information about Cindy and asks the nurses questions. No one moves forward without first clearing the current step with everyone in the room. The pediatric intensive care unit's Benny Joyner says doing things this way involves a cultural and attitude change. But Joyner says the end goal of Team Steps drives him to use it.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I necessarily jumped in with 2 feet, because it was something that was going to require me to change the way that I presented information. Unfortunately, having to say, I made this mistake, or it's a result of this, that this has happened. And that's a very challenging thing, to say, and I never want to say that again.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Gayatri Rathod reporting.
Gene's son Andrew would have celebrated his 6th birthday earlier this month.
The North Carolina law has undergone some major changes, and some of them might affect you. 50 new laws are in effect. One of the noteworthy changes is longer abortion waiting periods. It's gone from 24 to 72 hours. Another one, tanning beds are now illegal for users younger than 18. And the Move Over law has been extended to cover not just police and fire vehicles, but also garbage and recycling trucks.
The race for Chapel Hill's next mayor has become a race for funds. Challenger Pam Heminger has raised more campaign money than incumbent Mark Kleinschmidt. Right now, Heminger has received 122 donations, totaling more than $12,000. Kleinschmidt has received 71 donations, totaling less than $8,000. The other candidate, Gary Kahn, has reported raising only $5.
Did you wonder what those giant boxes were in the quad? They were part of the Outside In Innovation Summit. Interactive boxes installed on Polk Place highlighted challenges such as preventing the spread of infectious disease, economic dislocation, and environmental protection. Each box represents a need and an inventive solution for responding to that need. Those boxes continue to be useful. The plywood is going to the UNC Habitat for Humanity. Habitat jumped on the Summit project to help build the boxes. Now, the group plans to use the plywood to build a home for a family in need.
Nearly 1 million people come together in the nation's capital
to mark the anniversary of a historic moment in U.S. history.
That's next.
What do people wear?
Happy birthday, UNC! Monday marked the anniversary of the laying of the cornerstone of Old East as campus celebrated University Day. UNC is 222 years old. Classes were canceled for the morning as students and faculty celebrated the milestone. University leaders led a processional from the Old Well to Memorial Hall. Chancellor Carol Folt gave the keynote addresses and encouraged innovation in the classroom.
UNC! UNC! Your hands are bloody! Your hands are bloody!
Before the event began, others made sure their voices were heard. Members of the Real Silent Sam Coalition marched in opposition of the campus monument of a Confederate soldier. The university says the statue stands to honor students who died in the Civil War. The group believes the statue points to a dark and racist period of the university's past.
20 years ago, nearly 1 million people rallied for social and racial justice on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. Saturday, thousands gathered to observe the anniversary of the march. Paris Alston was there.
Bar Kim Young attended the first Million Man March back in 1995.
People came from all walks of the earth, all states, you know. Some came from different countries just to experience that feeling. And when they came here, it wasn't black, it wasn't white. It was people just wanting to just feel that love.
20 years later, he's back and says this time there's a greater purpose.
Okay, 20 years ago, it was just for people that just wanted to come for the experience. Now it's for real.
Those here today rally against issues such as police brutality and immigration restriction. It's part of this year's message, justice or else.
This is really a war campaign. The war is on injustice.
That's Marlon Taylor, who goes by his Muslim name, Marlon 2X. He's a member of the Nation of Islam, which organized the march under the leadership of Minister Louis Farrakhan. Farrakhan's speech Saturday served as a call to action.
The soldiers that we are, the followers, we were the boots on the ground. You need boots on the ground to touch the people, to get the people's hearts and mind to understand this call is for real and it's necessary.
One thing that's different from the march in 1995 is the audience. Then, the event targeted only black males. Today, all are invited, including women and other minorities. The unity among them was evident.
I'm meeting brothers from all over the place. You know, these brothers are from Chicago. They came and showed me love.
It's something Young hopes those seeking equality can sustain. In Washington, D.C., I'm Paris Alston reporting.
The crowd didn't quite reach 1 million, and some even criticized the march because of Farrakhan's published viewpoints, which some say are both sexist and bigoted.
A UNC student is starting a journey another Carolina student couldn't finish. Anique Joseph explains.
Elena Polanco is a bright student with a big dream, a dream made possible only after one dream was cut short.
When I found out that I was a recipient of Faith Smiles Scholarship, I was honored. I was so overjoyed because not having the means to go to school is a big thing in our Native American communities.
Faith Hedgepeth, a UNC student from the same community, also wanted to get an education, but she never reached her goal.
People are learning about her more and more every time another year passes, even though no one knows what happened to her.
Faith Hedgepeth was found dead here 3 years ago. According to an autopsy, she died of blunt force trauma to the head. No one's been arrested in connection with her death. The Hedgepeth family has created a scholarship in her name.
This is just our way of kind of keeping her legacy.
Rolanda Hedgepeth says she hopes the scholarship keeps her sister's name alive.
I pray that people don't forget her. She was a good person. I'm not just saying that because she was my sister. She truly was a good person. She cared about a lot of people.
She's impacted people more in the past 2-3 years than somebody could have in living a full life.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Monique Joseph reporting.
There's nearly $40,000 available to anyone who provides information leading to an arrest in the death of Faith Hedgepeth.
It's a great day to be outside, but will these warm temperatures last?
David Dixon is next with your forecast.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm meteorologist David Dixon. If you spend any time outside, you'll notice one thing, and that's definitely going to be the beautiful weather. I really wish I took a picture outside, but I took a different picture. Well, NASA did. This is their visual satellite, and it really shows what's going on, especially in North Carolina. You'll notice absolutely no clouds throughout the entire state, and that's because we're in an area of high pressure, and high pressure means sinking air, and with that sinking air, no clouds will form, and we get the beautiful conditions we have outside. Fair weather, clear skies, plenty of sunshine. You'll actually see just off the coast that band of clouds. That's actually an old cold front that actually came in yesterday. And you might not have noticed the cold front because it actually feels pretty warm today. Well, you'll definitely feel it tonight. This cold front is going to slowly make its way. It's kind of stuck on the mountains. All the cold air is behind the mountains, and it's a pretty weak cold front. So when it makes its way over, starting tonight, it's going to be very cool. But you will notice the one thing, the dew point today, and the dew point measures the amount of moisture in the air. And if you've spent any time outside, you'll definitely notice how crisp it is. And that's because our dew points today are in the 50s, and we're right in that comfortable range. It used to be in the 60s, so a little bit more humid. For tonight, like I said, that cold air finally reaches us cool and chilly. Clear skies, though. Low of 45 degrees, and those cooler temperatures are going to remain for the start of your fall break. The first full day, sunny skies and comfortable conditions with a high of 68. So open the windows, take a break from the AC and just open those windows. And those cool temperatures are going to remain with clear skies for the next couple days or so and into the weekend, as we have a large area of high pressure giving us those clear skies and beautiful conditions. Looking further west, you can see a cold front that's going to make its way into the state on Saturday, and that's going to give us a very sharp drop in temperatures. I'm talking lows in the 30s and highs in the 50s. So we come to this weekend, and I've built this little graphic for you. It's our weekend rating scale. It's a scale from poor, okay, and great, measuring the three things you care about most in a weekend: sunshine, rain, and temperature. And so this weekend actually ranks very well in all three of those categories. Plenty of sunshine, a bit of cloud cover on Saturday as that cold front moves in. No rain to be expected the entire week. And in temperatures, I like the cooler fall temperatures, and we're not going to get much of these warmer temperatures again on for the rest of the weekend. But look at those lows. Low in the 30s, highs in the 50s, and clear skies and plenty of sunshine for the entirety of the week. I think it's a good start to our fall break, but you have to be liking the cooler temperatures, especially for this weekend.
Yeah, I'm actually going to the mountains this weekend, so I'm actually very, very happy you said that. I'll make sure I bring lots of sweaters.
Of course.
And I'll be sure to find something fun to do with my family in this awesome weather. Thanks, David.
Of course.
So who scored the game-winning goal in last night's men's soccer game?
When?
I'm talking about the one that happened last night.
When?
No, I'm telling you the game happened last night. I'm asking you if you know who it was.
No clue.
Okay, forget it. We're going to find out next when we come back.
Back to Carolina Week, I'm Kelly Glendenning with sports. The men's soccer team is still undefeated, but boy, it was a close one on Tuesday night. The teams were evenly matched, even though the Heels are ranked number 2. Ashlyn Wynn started scoring with this beautiful header in the first half, but the Cougars tied the game going into halftime. Midway through the second half, Robbie George scored on a penalty kick to regain the lead. Though the Cougars tied it again, Alan Wynn refused to be stopped. His goal in the last minute would end up being the winner. There's a nice pun for you there. The Heels moved to 11-0-3, the best start in program history. In football, Carolina takes on Wake Forest Saturday in the Heels' second conference game this season. If they get past the Demon Deacons' physical defense, they could accomplish something they haven't done in almost 20 years. Here's this week's hidden stat. With a win, the Heels would improve to 2-0 in the ACC for the first time since 1997. That team finished 6th in the AP poll with a record of 11-1. It was the last year Mac Brown coached the team. 2-0 in the ACC, that's a far cry from the Heels' 0-3 start last season. So, what makes this team different? Here's senior Quinshaw Davis.
Like during the Georgia Tech games, we could see how close we really were. Like when we got down 21, didn't nobody panic and didn't nobody start fussing with one side or the other. We all came together and said, let's make it happen.
Game time is 7 p.m. at Kenan Stadium. Are you ready for some ice hockey? Our Aaron Wygant shows us the Heels on steel.
It's a big day for the UNC Club ice hockey team. And yes, we do have a team. And I'm here at the Raleigh Iceplex for the ACCHL kickoff tournament. Let's go see what teams are here.
The rink was swarming with jerseys of every color from the 13 schools that make up the Club Hockey League along the East Coast. Not everyone knows about UNC's team, or that the Heels are the ACCHL defending champions after winning the Admirals Cup last year. Head coach Jeff Volkman said, much of the group's success has to do with the focus on acting like a varsity team.
Many learning lessons on and off the ice, but we take care of both ends. You know, class and character are first and foremost. You know, we're representing University of North Carolina, our teammates, and our family.
The tournament began with a skills competition, with players competing for titles like the fastest shot, where our own Chris Vailloux clocked in the fastest at 87 miles an hour.
How do you feel?
Next came the ACC North versus South All-Star game. I put a GoPro on UNC goalie Trent Holmes to see what being a human target feels like.
Score, please!
He finished the game with a shutout, helping the Southern schools beat the Northern half 7-0. I got to spend a little time in the penalty box, and unfortunately, so did our players.
Can we get some sweet face time?
Yeah. Still, the Heels on Steel made some great plays and ended up winning the game 4-2. In Raleigh, I'm Aaron Wygant reporting.
Now, since there are us 3 girls today on the desk, I thought you guys would want to know that there's actually 2 female players on the field, on the ice hockey roster this season.
Well, I have a confession to make. I'm actually a great hockey player, so I think I might try out.
All right, I'm all for supporting you, I promise. Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you.
Carolina students are on a roll.
A new craze is making it easier for some students to get around.
That's next.
You might have seen those hilarious videos of people falling off of the new hoverboards. Well, the boards have finally made their way onto our campus. It has 2 wheels, a motor, 7.5 inches to stand on, and no handles. Oscar Hutchison rides his to and from classes.
If you go from one class to another bicycle, you have to find a place to hook it up. You have to hook it up, make sure no one takes it. But with this, you can just bring it into class with you and just set it aside.
He's one of the first students to use it on campus and has found other uses.
Do some chores for my mom. Sometimes she's too busy.
You can order the hoverboard, as it's often called, for $350 on Amazon if you buy the off-brand. But if you want the original Monorover, you're going to dish out about $600. But it comes with special features.
The battery indicator, it'll start blinking green when it's getting close to dying. And on the back of it, there are 2 blue lights for indicators.
Now he's using it to get from class to class.
That's it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thank you for watching and good night.